How's it going, everyone? My name is George, and these are just my quick thoughts on Falcon and Winter Soldier and what I think is going to happen afterwards. So, this was the newest Disney Plus show starring Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan as Sam Wilson slash Falcon and Bucky Barnes. And this is basically about how Sam Wilson, despite being given the shield at the end of Avengers Endgame, does not feel like he's worthy of being the next Captain America, so he gives it to the U.S. government, and they pick their own Captain America, John Walker, played by Wyatt Russell. Sorry if I mispronounced that first name. And he's basically the opposite of Steve Rogers. He's trying so hard to be the perfect soldier when he really isn't, and he's also not a good man like Sam Wilson. Now, this was my most anticipated Disney Plus show. I've always enjoyed this political thriller aspect of the MCU, movies like Captain America the Winter Soldier and Captain America Civil War. I think Falcon and Winter Soldier does a great job of growing on that kind of tone. I think this was a lot better than WandaVision. I think I enjoyed it more than WandaVision. I like WandaVision, but I think as far as what I like to see in the MCU, this is probably what I'm going to prefer to rewatch more. You also see them reopening the door to things that haven't really been touched upon since Captain America Civil War. Sharon Carter, played by Emily Van Camp, comes back, and you see a darker, more angrier side to her character because, spoiler if you haven't seen Falcon and Winter Soldier, she's been on the run while everyone else has gotten a pardon from the events of Civil War. You have Daniel, sorry if I mispronounced his last name, Brew. I'm bad with last names. Playing Zemo again, and I think he added a lot more to Zemo. You see it more entertaining. You see why Zemo might be the way he is. You see like what his mindset is, and you also see other characters return, like Don Cheadle as War Machine at the beginning of the show. I think this does a lot better of also expanding the MCU and talking about the events of the snap, basically how it has impacted society. And it's also shown with this terrorist group called the Flag Smashers, who feel like they've been left behind, that have feel like they have not been treated well by these governments. And Erin Kellyman as Carly, the leader of this group, does a great job. I think she's one of the more interesting, better villains of the MCU. And what's crazy is she's only in her early 20s. So this actress is very talented, and she did a great job of carrying this character. And this touches upon obviously more serious stuff in the MCU, like race, because obviously there's a lot of questions about, can a black man represent America and be the next Captain America? They touch upon this character named Isaiah, who was a black super soldier that did stuff for the United States, but then was later experimented on. And you also see, do some people feel like they're left behind by their government? Does this create people to do radical extreme ideas or not? Just these serious themes that I'm glad to see the MCU touch upon. I love the MCU. I enjoy the MCU. But I also like to see the MCU sometimes touch upon some of the more serious aspects, because they do sometimes get criticism for not being as serious as some people think they should be. So I think they did a really good job of exploring those serious elements. And Anthony Mackie, this was, in my opinion, his best performance as Sam Wilson. I think Sebastian Stan as Bucky, we also obviously see him no longer being under the control of the Winter Soldier. He's trying to redeem himself as well. You're seeing these characters grow and adjust to a life also without Steve Rogers. And by the way, Steve Rogers leaving has obviously had a big effect on the MCU already. And you get to learn more about Sam Wilson. You learn more about his family. And I like exploring these characters that haven't really been explored all that much in the previous films. Like, we're now seeing characters like Wanda, Sam Wilson, Bucky Barnes now being put out there more, and they're getting a chance to shine. And I like seeing that. And obviously we see at the end, spoiler if you haven't seen Falcon and Winter Soldier by now, but we see in the finale he becomes the new Captain America. He takes on the burden. And right after Falcon and Winter Soldier, it was announced that we're going to get a Captain America 4. It's going to be written by the showrunners of Falcon and Winter Soldier. And I'm excited to see that. Obviously, no date has been given out. I can see probably a 2023, 2024 release date for this film. And I'm excited to see what they can do with this character. I think Anthony Mackie proved he can hold his own and have his own solo movie. So I'm interested to see what they can do with that. They haven't really said who's going to be in it, but based on how Falcon and Winter Soldier ended, I'm not going to touch upon more spoilers because I don't think a lot of people have seen it yet, or not everyone's seen it yet. I think a lot of people have by now. But as we've seen what transpired at the end with certain characters, it leaves the door open to what they're going to do. And not just Captain America 4, but other MCU future projects. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do with this, if they're going to bring Bucky Barnes back as well. I think Sebastian Stan has this massive contract with Marvel, which at the time when I first found out about it years ago, I was like, wow, why would they sign to so many things? But it might start making sense now if that contract is true. But all in all, I had a great time with Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like I said, I think this was a better show than WandaVision. I still like WandaVision, but I prefer this. I am looking forward to seeing some of the other shows that Marvel's going to be giving us. The next one is Loki, and I'm a huge fan of Tom Hiddleston's Loki, so I'm looking forward to seeing how they do that show. Then you got the Hawkeye and Bishop show coming out later in the fall, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do with this. Now, this is a series, so it's kind of hard to grade every episode, so I'm just going to grade the overall series. That's why I waited to make this video instead of reviewing every single episode. Maybe in the future I'll change that and review the episodes, but I think overall as a series, I'm going to give Falcon and Winter Soldier an A. I had a lot of fun with this show. I think this is my kind of MCU that I enjoy watching. I still like the other MCU stuff, but as far as MCU tone is probably my favorite tone to watch, this nails it. There's still humor in this show, but I like to touch upon the more serious aspects every now and then of the MCU, and I think this did a great job of being one of the better, more grounded MCU projects, and I'm hoping they can touch upon that more in Captain America 4, because it looks like we're not going to get as many grounded projects in the MCU as we used to get, and I'm fine with that. I like it when they explore space and other things. I also love the space aspect of the MCU films, like obviously Avengers Infinity War that go into space, Guardians of the Galaxy, Thor Ragnarok. They're also some of my favorite MCU films. But again, it looks like this phase isn't going to have as many grounded projects as they usually have outside of probably the many MCU Disney Plus shows. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do with Captain America 4. And yeah, these were just my quick thoughts on the show. So thank you guys for watching this video. Please like and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. I hope to get more stuff out soon. Probably start reviewing some older movies and things like that. Maybe touch upon some more movie news. I know I made a bunch of videos earlier in the week. I'm not going to be as active. Like sometimes if there's like a lot of movie news going on or entertainment news, because I do want to touch upon other things in the future, more TV shows, more video game news. I hope I can get more stuff out there, but I'm not going to be making videos every single day. It looked like I was starting to, but I don't want to go too crazy. I'm still trying to figure out what works for this channel, what might not work. So I'm going to be testing out some new stuff every now and then. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching and enjoy your day.